Welcome, everybody, to what I like to call Thoughts On. This is going to be like a mini podcast type thing where Jester and I are going to talk about the Let's Play we just finished, which was Infamous.
We are.
We have a few things to discuss: story, gameplay, all that other nonsense. Things we probably mentioned in the actual videos themselves, but it's just a fun thing that I like to do. Instead of talking over the credits, we do it here so we can actually have a discussion about it, which I always find to be very entertaining. So, what did you think of the game in the end, Jester?
Oh, complex feelings. The ending obviously comes at you really quickly.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. The back in time story thing.
Yeah. I think it's because it mainly has to do with they wanted to, way I feel, to set up the sequel. And it's a really good way of doing that and also having some choice tossed in there too. But there's probably a better way to do it than to make it's you from the future.
Wouldn't it be great if they never made the sequel? Then it would have been all pointless.
Well, the ending is ambiguous enough to where a sequel isn't totally necessary. But with how much like everything Sony put into this, they weren't looking at a new what is it, Hive?
Yeah.
What was that game for the PS3?
Oh, wait.
Had the guy with the white mask on with the eye poking through.
Oh, Haze. No,
Haze.
Hive.
They were gonna have another haze on their hands.
Haze. Hive.
It had an H.
Whatever.
It also had a weird letter in there too. It's like, is it a V? Is it a Z? Who knows?
Weird
Hex?
letters.
Maybe Hex? Who knows? But no, they really, that usually doesn't happen
Oh,
with first party games. And so I feel like they knew that they were probably gonna have a sequel. And it's really funny because we haven't started the sequel, obviously. We literally just finished watching the evil ending like 2 minutes ago. And Infamous 2 takes place a month later.
oh.
And there's a comic in between that explains that.
Well, huh.
And the comic we'll actually be talking about that a lot more in depth when we do the Infamous 2 thread, which is it pretty much has to do with Cole and Zeke starting to repair their relationship
Oh.
because they don't really have one at this point.
Really? What a shocker.
Oh my god. But it's really weird because it brings up a really interesting point. How can Cole be super mad at Zeke for going with future Cole?
Yeah.
So that's a weird bit of thing that goes on there. But you were talking other than the whole future story, other thoughts.
Oh, I have to have thoughts. Oh, that's right. This is a thoughts thing. Oh, yeah.
It's got thoughts in the title.
I have. Oh, well, damn it! You didn't tell me.
I did tell you.
I didn't know what the title was.
Shut up.
All right. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, I got stuck in the time thing. Still, I'm still stuck.
Oh yeah. You should go back in time.
Yeah. Can we go back in time and redo this?
Yeah.
Overall, well, once you get to the end, of course, and it reveals the whole point of the entire storyline. The storyline is fine. It's better than some. It's not. I guess I put it in a decent category.
Yeah, I agree.
The gameplay is another. That's a whole other discussion.
Yeah. It's hard to kind of quantify that this game came out in 08, 07.
Yeah.
So it is a little old by this point in time, but you know, you can only cut so much slack in the gameplay department. I mean, there's plenty of games older and newer that have much better gameplay. I mean, they don't really hit their stride with the gameplay in this game until maybe halfway through 2, where they really nail it.
Well, at this time, and like you said, factoring in the time which it came out, it suffers from the same open world failings that almost all the games at that time had, which is repetitive elements that they all seem to share.
It also doesn't help the fact that even the main story missions are copies of other main story missions or even side quests.
Yes, yeah, that is also a major issue.
Oh, let's have like 8 bus missions. Hey,
let's just rig up this electrical grid. Again. every time. Wow.
And the fact that and even the boss fights aren't that interesting.
No. Even the final boss fight is literally just a repeated action over and over.
What that's really what the sequels do a lot better at is in Infamous 2 there's two boss fights in the entire game.
No.
Three, I'm sorry. Uh yeah, there is three. And in Infamous Second Son there's one, two, three, four boss fights. Five. And they're all very different.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and three of them aren't really even boss fights. So there's that. And this is really a learning experience. You can easily tell that it is. I mean, they're learning things, and it's kind of weird that when you look at the last island with those missions, those are some of the most different missions in the entire game, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole escort thing with the helicopter, it's not really an escort mission at all. It's not like the bus mission at all.
Yeah.
What it mainly is just you getting from place to place to place. You're just doing it incredibly slowly.
Yeah. Helicopter speed.
Yeah. But I think my only other major problem is the fact that they don't really give Trish enough time to be a character before they kill her.
Yeah.
Which, when we posted this in the thread, a lot of people were. That was actually one of the bigger points of conversation was about Trish's death, is because she's not a very sympathetic character.
No.
They write her, I would say, realistic in a situation where a man shoots lightning out of his hands, but her sister is dead, and the only thing that she can latch onto as a cause for it is Cole,
Yeah.
which really not his fault. But it's like I don't know how else you could really make her, like, if she maybe have the mission where she turns the Cole's side a little earlier in the game.
It might have.
Maybe not the back half of the second island, make it the front half.
So it wouldn't have been like, I love you, Cole, and then 5 seconds later she's dead.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the problem, is that they don't give her enough time to breathe once she's on your side, because it literally goes the bus mission, then right after that is the terror buses.
Yeah.
So you don't really get to deal with her that much when she's actually a fan of Cole. And it's more like you're supposed to like her because the character likes her.
Yeah.
And I'm never a big fan of that in storytelling.
And then you find out you love her from the future guy. That's you.
Well, they go into the fact that they actually do really care about each other in the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Before the whole newscaster guy pops up. And I don't... Did that pop up in any of the videos at all? His fate?
That's a good question.
I don't think it did. It's one of those weird things where, I'm not joking, I tried really hard to get all of those TV cutscenes.
Yeah.
Because they're very random when you pop up. Because sometimes you'll catch him and sometimes you don't. He actually gets killed.
Oh.
And it's really hard to catch the cutscene where it happens. Like, someone storms into his room and just shoots him, and that's the end of it.
Nice.
But yeah, I think that the major problem with the game is that the middle part is fucking long as hell. That second island.
Yeah.
And too many side missions. I also feel that some of it is my fault with I paced this thing kind of badly.
Yeah, what is your problem?
Fixing that with Infamous 2. I've already played it much better.
I blame you.
There's only going to be 2 side quest missions, and that's it. Videos, that's it.
I blame you for everything, as usual.
I should have gone back in time and made sure that I paced them better.
Well, that's what's going to happen in the next game. No?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back in time and pace them better.
Oh.
Other than that, like, voice acting is wonky.
Yeah.
Especially Cole.
Yeah. Gruff McGruff.
The only time I really think that he did a really good job was in that final cutscene when he's talking about, like, the reveal, like, the full-on reveal about Kessler being him. When he's talking about the photo. That's probably some of the best acting that he did in the entire game. And that's not a good thing to say, that one of the last lines is, like, there you go, there's where he did okay. And it's like,
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, they do kind of hint about Kessler throughout the game. There's bits and pieces where they do hint at it. The first major time is when he's talking about Trish. When you're climbing up the buildings.
Yeah.
And he talks about how she's a very special, like even a woman as special as Trish.
Oh no.
And he mentions that, and oh, that was something that I'm sorry, we don't have a script for this. We probably should have written down bullet points. One of the things I did want to talk about is the whole death of Trish and why it's actually important, and why that no matter what choice you make, Trish dies.
Yeah.
And the whole way that the game is paced. I feel that the whole way that the game is actually laid out to be is you're supposed to be good for the entire game until the Ray Sphere, when you're supposed to be evil.
Oh.
That's what Kessler wants you to be. He wants you to be really, really good, but then, oh, here's extra power, take it.
Yeah.
That's what he wants. And, like, because if you listen to all of his times that he talks to you, especially the back half of the game, whenever you're making choices, he talks about how he's pleased with you for making these choices, these correct choices. But then the moment that you destroy the Ray Sphere, he's disappointed in you.
Ah.
So that's really his plan, was for you to be a good guy until, here's more power, murder people.
You gotta stop the beast, yo.
Yep, the beast. And the whole death of Trish, as he specifically says, this is to make it so that he has no ties. So that when it comes to fight the beast, he doesn't run.
No.
Which, I think it's more interesting from a storytelling perspective, that kind of impact on Kessler than it is on Cole.
Yeah.
But we don't get that, which is very unfortunate. I would have actually much rather have seen like what it was like for Kessler to have to kill Trish.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's me.
It is an interesting perspective.
Thank you for that incredibly blah answer, Jess.
I was what?
Like, that is an incredibly interesting thing that you were just talking about.
Every time I say something like that, you do that. I was being serious. I have my honest hat on. Why does everyone think I'm always kidding?
As you usually are.
That's somewhat true. But this time I'm not.
I know. So now the big question is would you have played this game to the end on your own?
Well, knowing nothing about the game, I mean, it does fall into a category of game that I could finish, whether or not I would because of the repetitive nature of it. Well, then again, I do play a lot of repetitive games, so it might not have deterred me. But if it had any more side quests than it did, I wouldn't have finished it. But it has just enough where I think I could have if I was interested enough. But
my problem is the story doesn't really kick in till halfway through the game.
Yeah.
Is that you're kind of like, this is kind of fun to play. Like, the gameplay, the fun part of the gameplay, keeps you playing for about halfway through the game. Then that moment is when the story kicks in, which is thankfully one of the things that they fix in the sequel.
Oh, really?
The story is actually interesting the entire way through. There's a part in the middle where it sags, but when you've got an open world game, that kind of happens. But all in all, I mean, I like this game. It's the weakest in the series. I'm sorry, people who think Second Son's the worst game in the series. It's not. It's just short.
Oh, okay.
Is really what it is. It's like Second Son, you could probably beat it in 7 hours.
Oh, that means it's my kind of game now. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which don't worry, we'll be done with inFamous 2 by the time you'll have still some time to play some video games, Jester.
Yeah. This time I won't be, dead.
Ish. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this series of videos of inFamous. As I have alluded to, our next one is definitely going to be inFamous 2, which by the time this video is released might be in a week or two.
Really?
Well, it depends on how much time we take off when these videos actually come out, and if we get our backlog sorted out so that this happens. And that is something we should actually mention, is about the whole release thing. Hey, Jester, you have a confession to make.
I do? What did I do now?
About how erratic the updates went.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had a few, just a tad, few medical issues here and there, so, and then a few other issues that kind of all compounded into a deadly combination of issues. So we kind of went back and forth between doing many updates at once to doing none for weeks, and back and forth.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate thing that happened. We actually did have a nice buffer.
Yeah. And then it failed multiple
It
times.
completely failed. There was a few times where we're like, oh, we got like 6 videos in the queue, and then they all got burned away because you like ditched for like 2 weeks.
Well, isn't it the first set of videos? Didn't we do like 6 hours at once or something at
We
one point?
did so a little behind the scenes thing. We did the first update very early.
Yeah.
Then we did the second one a little bit after that, but the second one we did probably like 6 that second session.
Oh yeah, that was a
It
long.
was mainly because this is the first time you've ever done a more serious commentary ish. If we can
Yeah.
actually call this serious.
Me being serious. Wow.
I'm actually bringing up the videos. Yeah, we definitely did update all of update 1 at once, and I think we did update 2 through 6 in one sitting.
Yeah.
And then that was so that we'd have a nice buffer so we wouldn't have to worry about it. And I think it was once we were done with those is when I started the thread. And something that I think I mentioned in one of the evil videos is my God, are some of these videos old? The very first video I rendered out for this. Wow, actually, okay. The first final video that I put out, because the without commentary we commented over them, was rendered out April 7th.
Nice.
Which isn't bad for us. 3 months.
Yeah. Oh, that's not bad. We should do better though.
That's on you.
And it's all your. I mean, damn it, it's my fault
Yeah, it's all your
again.
fault. But yeah, so we are going to be doing inFamous 2. Then after that, we are going to be doing Festival of Blood.
Ooh.
Which is the, which is the DLC game that they put out, which is something that they're also doing with Second Son, which is called First Light, which I'm actually really excited to play. And then after that, you won't be joining me for Second Son. You're going to be playing the game yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to go play it on the PS4. The hell with everyone.
Because we haven't mentioned it until now, but the whole reason why we're doing these games is so that you can play Second Son with knowledge of inFamous 1 and 2.
Yeah, because you know how I never finish games. This
No.
time I am going to.
And as someone who's actually beaten Second Son, you don't really need to know what happened.
Oh, okay.
There's just a bits and pieces of things where they bring it up, and the Cole DLC is actually very interesting in Second Son. But we'll get into that, November?
Years from now.
Who the hell knows? So that is the tentative thing that's going to be happening. So I hope you guys enjoyed all of this. We will be back soon with some more inFamous. And I've run out of things to say.
Just press the button. Just press the button!
You should say goodbye, too.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, everybody. Bye. And stuff.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Thank you for everybody who replied in the thread. Thank you to everybody who replied on the videos themselves. Thank you very much. You all brought some interesting topics, even though the thread did divulge into how people can see other people saying things and bringing up Metal Gear and Codex. That was weird. But, yeah. Metal Gear pops up in everything, let's be honest.
That's true.
So, see you guys next time.
See you.